What Eagle player needs to step up the most in the second half of the season that gets started on Monday night against the Chiefs? Which guy, hasn't exceeded enough expectations or hasn't met the expectations? Who do we need? That's the question of the day. Who needs to step up? We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk Sixers, Celtics. Sixers dropped two in a row. We're going to talk Kelly Oubre and his Ring doorbell camera. We got lots on the agenda today. Trending in the AM with your thoughts and opinions coming in hot in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. We're live, Facebook, YouTube. You know the drill. Hit those buttons, like, share, subscribe, follow, retweet, whatever it is, whatever you got, hit those buttons. Help support the show, help promote this show, help get this show in front of more eyes, and the more eyes, the better. I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. It's free to do it. It's free to hit those buttons. Thank you very much. I am your host, Phil Stiefel. You can find me on all social media platforms at Beard of Knowledge. We got lots on the agenda today. Um, obviously, I want to recap a little bit of Sixers Celtics last night. Obviously, we got to dive into how the hell Kelly Oubre's Ring camera magically got released to TMZ. I don't know what is going on with Kelly Oubre now with the Sixers. But the question of the day is which Eagles player needs to step up the most, not just Monday night against the Chiefs, but in the second half of this season, over the next 5 games, whatever you want to call it, as we get to crunch time here on the NFL season for the Eagles. Who has to step up the most? And we've got a poll question running on Twitter. Lots of votes. I got it running on YouTube as well, the community page there. Lots of votes there as well. Probably between the two polls, over 800 votes. So we've got lots of opinions there that we need to get into, and we will do just that. Travis, good morning. Just beat the Chiefs. Yeah, I mean, we all want that for sure. Hit the music. I hit the music. We're starting. What is up, reality check? Good morning to you. Tough loss last night for the Sixers. Absolutely. Good morning. One day closer to Monday Night Football. Can I just vent for 30 seconds, Nick? With great success comes great responsibility. And with the Eagles' great success comes no 1 p.m. Eagles games. And I'm tired of it, man. I need a 1 o'clock Eagles game, man. No 1 o'clock games this year. 2 total, actually. Give me some 1 o'clock football here. We get the bye week, and then we got to wait till freaking Monday night for another football game. Give me some regular, normal time, please. Even some 4 o'clock games. But these Sunday night, Monday night games, man, they're exhausting. Springer and B-Ball had games last night. They did, but the rest of the team stunk. Barry Evans, the secondary needs to step up. That's a very common answer to my question, the secondary. But it's a very broad answer, Barry. I'd like to see the answers be more specific. Is it James Bradbury, who's dominating the poll question right now on both Twitter and YouTube? Some people have typed in Darius Slay. Some people have typed in Bayard or Robbie. I want specific players, not the secondary as a whole, Barry, because we all know the secondary hasn't been up to snuff this year, at least as much as we would have hoped it would have been. Peanut, you said Monday wasn't a must-win, but if we do win, does that automatically propel the Eagles as the elite team of the NFL? And will Hurts be the new face of the game? That's like 100 questions in one here. I said it isn't must-win, but if they win, are they the elite team of the NFL? They already are the elite team in the NFL. That's the first part of this. They are. Win or lose on Monday night, they are the elite team in the NFL. Now we might change that in 5 weeks, but right now they are the elite team. And will Hurts be the new face of the game? Hurts will never be the face of the game. He already should be, but he's not. And there's so much into why he's not. Um, but it's too early in the morning for me to dive into each and every one of those things. But I don't know if he'll ever be the face of the game. Monday Night Football is it. I hate Monday Night Football. I hate it. A huge one tonight. Is there a big game tonight? I don't even know what the Thursday Night Football game is. Oh, crap. That's right. It's finally a good game. Bengals Ravens. That's actually a really, really big game tonight. I might have to hack a stream and watch that game. I'm not sure why I acted like the Sixers were going to win last night. Boston down 2 starters and Joel crapped the bed. Yeah, the Sixers did not play a very good game last night. Obviously, they're still missing 2 big players in Kelly Oubre and Nicholas Batum. Um, but yeah, they lost 2 nights in a row after being 8-1. They've come back down to reality. We are actually starting to see them against some real competition where their flaws are. Um, we'll have to we'll have to see. Um, we will. This team, the loss of Oubre and Batum have really shown me, at least, what this team needs. And this team needs Batum back in the starting lineup, and this team and committed. I don't know what his personal issues are here more often than not. And we need Oubre coming off the bench. And on the side note, whatever happened with TMZ and his accident, I don't know. It's totally Sixers stuff happening all of a sudden again. Beat Chiefs, your number one priority. Absolutely. Eagles are the worst 8-1 team in. Yeah, that's what everybody keeps saying, Marshawn. We're the worst 8-1 team in the history of sports. Period. Maxi could do more. Maxi was very, very off last night, for sure. I'm not sure what it is. The Celtics always have the Sixers number. Doesn't matter whether it's in the playoffs or the regular season. It's tough to beat the Celtics for the Sixers. It's just that organization as a whole must have a book on the Sixers, and we struggle. Al Horford, the most overrated center in basketball, always has a good game against Joel Embiid. He knows how to guard it. There's so many things with the Celtics. But so I look past the Celtics game specifically, but more generally speaking, what I have seen. And I'm kind of getting an understanding of what this Sixers team is, a work in progress, basically. Reality checks. I'm going to say Nolan Smith is the guy that needs to step up because after CJJ went down on the Lions, Brian Branch has really been lights out. And this is an interesting area to look at. I know Nolan is buried, but you got to convince me the 30th pick was right. This is an interesting avenue to break down the Nolan Smith pick because the Nolan Smith pick, was praised. Him falling, the Eagles getting him. He has been a virtual non-existent player on this team because he is buried on the depth chart. Uh, you know, and I still stand by the statement that I made before the season started that the Nolan Smith pick wasn't for 2023. It was for 2024 because there is a legit chance Hassan Reddick is not on this team. Not saying I don't want Hassan Reddick on this team. I'm saying he might not be on this team next year. And Nolan Smith is here to cushion that blow. But the opposite part of that is Brian Branch was there. I wanted Brian Branch. We knew Howie Roseman wouldn't draft the safety in the first round, but that option was there. And Brian Branch is playing really, really well for Detroit right now. So you took a project or a piece for the future when there was a guy on the board that could help them now in a position of need now who's actually playing well now. The problem is saying that Nolan Smith is the guy that has to step up is kind of hard to say because we know he's not going to get the opportunity unless an injury happens to step up. So when he's getting 5 plays a game, it's really hard to say he needs to step up if he's not getting that opportunity. Just saying, I could use your luck. Thanks. I just refuse, Edge of Philly. I refuse to pay streaming services to watch sports. Like I just do. I'm anti cutting the cord to go to streaming service. There's far too many streaming services. They all add up to way too much money. I just won't do it. I got FiOS still. basic FiOS TV. I get Netflix through my TV, and that's it. I can't. I got a hacked HBO Max account on my smart TV, and that's about it. Oubre might be back this month. He might be, and that would be huge for the team. I still got it's totally Sixers and the process drama. Whatever's going on with Kelly Oubre right now is 100% obviously par for the course for Sixers. We get rid of one piece of drama, another piece of drama comes in. We get rid of that drama, another piece of drama comes in. I don't know what to make of it. The whole TMZ leaking Ring doorbell footage of Oubre walking into his apartment, telling his girl or whoever was there, I got hit by a car holding his ribs while dragging his bike in behind him. And somehow that getting leaked. First and foremost, I don't even care what's going on in that video. I want to know who leaked that video to TMZ, why, and how the hell, what the hell is TMZ doing that's getting this footage? I'm beyond confused on why and how this Oubre situation is unfolding like it did. Maxey with another scoreless first quarter last night. Can't hit shit. He definitely struggled. It's not even, and I hope Nick Nurse tears into him for that. Yeah, Nick Nurse definitely holds his players accountable. It's one of his downfalls, supposedly, in Toronto, because players don't like to be held accountable. But Nick Nurse has said it already. I've been saying it for 2 years now that Tyrese Maxey's biggest flaw in his game is his inconsistent starts to game. It takes him a while to get into the flow. He defers far too often in the beginning of games. He needs to just take over and just dominate from minute one, and not. He's your number one scoring option. I mean, Joel Embiid is sort of, but he should be your number one guy that you've got to get going every single game, and it takes far too long. The good court was back. Yeah, we didn't have to watch any of that playing game court. So what is up with the NBA playing tournament? Or not play in season tournament. It's happening, but not every game. Like I don't understand. Like you got one game's a tournament game, then the next game's not, then the next game is like what is go like shouldn't it just be the tournament? Just the tournament. Everybody just on the tournament and that's it. Like I don't get it. But we have Sydney Brown. Um yeah. Uh, Sydney isn't Branch, bro. Come on. Look. I don't want to start an argument. Um, that was my failed attempt at I got the sarcasm, Marshawn Lynch. I don't know if Reality Check caught it. Look, I still like Sydney Brown, but we knew from the get go that Sydney Brown was a project. And just the simple argument's sake of Brian Branch could be helping this secondary right now while Nolan Smith isn't, I think is an interesting argument to look at or discussion to look at. How he's always looking at the now, but also the future. The Nolan Smith pick was a look into the future type pick when there was a guy that is showing that he could have helped right now. Sydney Brown, definitely, and I keep wanting to say Sydney, but it's Sydney Brown. Um, he was a work in progress right from the get go. Lots of flash, lots of boom, but lots of bust at the same time on the field. Now, I still think Brown can be a really solid safety down the line for this team, but you had a guy on the court on the board that could have helped them right now. Please chat or Phil tell me if you get mystery site to work. I will look into it in the next day or so. I got a very busy day ahead of me today, man, chatter. But I will look into it. I don't know what's going on that's not working for you. I use Prime for Amazon daily for shipping. I wouldn't have it if it wasn't for that. Gotcha. Yeah, I just tell somebody else to order for me when I need something overnighted. I get it, bro. It's just the best take I had because I'm okay with our team. So I kind of had to be picky. Well, we're going to get into all the different names that have been mentioned so far, and I'm going to put up the poll, the Twitter portion of it on the show here in a few minutes. I think Nico Batum might end up retiring to get his life in order. I have no idea what's going on with him. It's obviously something very personal. He hasn't discussed it personally, which I actually love that he's keeping his private life private as much as possible. Um, and the amount of basketball he's missed with the Clippers and now with us this year, it's obviously a serious thing. He's already said this is his last year. Wouldn't be surprised if he did. He has come out and said he is going to play this year. He is committed, but personal stuff trumps basketball, he said basically. So that's, it's hurting the team that he's here sometimes and not other times. It shows how important he could be to this team when he's here and not here. But it is what it is. But getting Kelly Oubre back would be helpful as well. Jordan Davis had a similar rookie year. Smith is a guy who will benefit from a year behind these veterans. Besides, we have a generational talent and rookie of the year in Jalen Carter. Jordan Davis is a guy that did not get much attention in my poll. I would love to see Jordan Davis step up and have a bigger second half of the season as well. But yeah, I mean, there's a similar path. Jordan Davis had a little bit bigger of a role his rookie year before he got hurt. Then we brought in Sue and Joseph. I think it was basically back end of the rotation. But he'll benefit Nolan Smith, you know, next year, the year after that. I still stand by Reddick's going to need an extension in the offseason. If he and Howie can't come to an agreement, Howie's not going to let him play the last year of his deal. Howie will trade him. I don't want it to happen. I want them to find a common middle ground on money. I want Reddick to be an Eagle for the rest of his career. But reality sets in. It's a business, and Howie's a strong businessman, and he will do whatever it takes to keep the best interest of this team always at the forefront. So Nolan Smith is that insurance policy if Howie's got to move on from Reddick after this year. And I kind of feel like people will underrate Nolan Smith going into next year if that's the case because people aren't thinking about him. People thinking of him as a bust right now because he's not seeing the field much. It's just a deep position on a team right now. Cue the $1 Million Man theme song, money, money, money. So let me clear this up. I have all the high hopes, Nolan. I truly think he will be a terror in this league. Yeah, no. We're not taking it. Look, saying you got to step up and who answering this question, this topic of the day, is not criticizing anybody because we're 8-1. Nobody's been bad this year. I know James Bradbury is dominating this poll. James Bradbury hasn't been bad. James Bradbury just hasn't been as good as last year. And that's all it is. So let's put this poll up. I'll catch up to the comments here in a minute here. There it is. Got it. So that's that. Present, share screen. Which shared screen do I need up? Nope, not that one. That one there. Let's put this poll question up on the board here for everybody to see. Obviously, the poll question, which Eagles has to stay up? I put Devontae Smith, which I'm surprised he got so many votes, but I'm also glad he got some votes. James Bradbury, Kenneth Gainwell, I put on there. He's got 1%. And other. On this portion of it, because I also got it on YouTube, the answers are the percentages are pretty similar. There's almost 300 votes on YouTube as well. So we're pushing 900 votes here. And James Bradbury is just blowing everybody out of the water here. James Bradbury obviously is the guy that most people think need to step up. Devontae Smith I put on here because of the simple, thing that AJ Brown is being so good. He's going to start facing more double teams. They're going to start sliding coverages his way a little bit more. Somebody's got to step up if AJ Brown's not going to be putting up 150 point or yard games. Devontae Smith has to step up and be bigger. I mean, Devontae Smith is having a good year, but compared to AJ Brown, nothing. He's got 42 catches, so he's on pace for about 75, 80 catches. He's got 533 yards, so almost 1,000 yards. He's got 4 touchdowns, so 7 or 8. We need more from him. I firmly believe we need more from Devontae Smith. Kenneth Gainwell, I just put up there because everybody hates Kenneth Gainwell, but Kenneth Gainwell is still part of this team, and he's not providing a lot of punch. So let's catch up on some of these comments here. So TMZ want money, image that. Yeah, they pay the person for their. Yes, they paid somebody. Nolan could get a tackle. He might someday. It sucks that Jokic doesn't have game like Joel has against better teams. For the record, I don't want him gone, but my guy always played scared. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Al Horford. He just struggles against Al Horford, Joel Embiid. We had Harden last year, and he was a part-time player too. That is a fair point. That is a very fair point. Too late, NFL Real Chat. That chat is already offended. Yeah, nobody's offended. Nobody's offended. All jokes aside, I did want the Eagles to draft Brian Branch. So did I. But I knew how he wasn't going to do it. Exactly. Exactly. Hell, I wanted Nakobe Dean in the first round last year. I knew it wasn't going to happen, and I'm glad it didn't happen. How Twitter reaction to my power rankings this week got a lot of mixed takes this week. We'll call it mixed takes as the answer. Yeah, I think Kenny G doesn't belong on this list, but K1, you love your Kenny G. He's not really performing to the level that we're told he's supposed to be. That he's the There's talk that he was the top guy in the running back room, or at least on par with DeAndre Swift. He doesn't play and perform that way. Gainwell needs to step out, not up. You're going to really piss K1 off with that one. We're all going to piss K1 off with that one. Do you think if we didn't have AJ, that Smitty would be on the level of CeeDee Lamb? I mean, it's a hard question to answer, Marshawn. If we didn't have AJ, would Smitty be there? Smitty would get more targets, obviously. He would have the opportunities to have the numbers. I still think Devontae Smith is a top 10, 11 wide receiver in football. I really, truly do. Um, so he would be borderline CeeDee Lamb. The question would be, if we didn't have AJ, who would be the other guy opposite of him so that Smitty could cook? Would it be a viable option, or would Quez Watkins be the other guy on the outside? That is the question. Like, I can't fully answer that unless I know who's replacing AJ Brown. Is it Jason Avant or Freddie Mitchell, or is it a solid guy? I don't know. N'Kobe Dean had been middle earth all year. N'Kobe Dean has not been good, but he can't even step up in the second half because he ain't going to be playing in the second half. So that's why he's not getting much love. And we're going to page down. There's a lot of answers that were typed in. Not even a half hour, and K1 already Kenny Jean. Is that a phrase? Peanut, Kenny Jean, a conversation. Is that a thing? Kenny Jean, a conversation. I love it. I love it. Um, just have to rep my boy. Like, I really think K1 stands for Kenny G, burner account. I really do. I can't see that what that first word is. It's Bradbury by a mile. He's been bad. I don't know if he's been bad, K1. I just don't know if he's been. It's just he's not been as good as last year. He's been okay. We just expect him to be great. Gainwell is being played because of favoritism, not talent. It's BS. He's only playing because Nick drafted him. Well, Nick didn't draft him. Howie drafted him. Um, he might be better than Penny though at this point. I will say that. Rashad Penny, he's just not it. He's just not it. The KC team is a perfect opportunity to run the ball. Let's see if Brian Johnson Nick doesn't make the same mistake twice. Yeah, it is. That's an accurate thing. And we're getting Cam Jurgens back this week. It seems it's probable. Having Cam Jurgens back, we'll see if that really was the cause of the running game slowing down, like I think it is. That with Cam Jurgens out and Opeta then seen in there, that the running attack did suffer. We'll see. Philip, you're addressing me by my full first name like my mother would. Bradbury has been bad. I'm tired of seeing the back of his jersey. All right, he hasn't been good. All right, so let's get to the rest of this poll here. The other. All right, let's go through these things. Now it clearly says players, and my man Mitch Bernstein jumps in with the offensive coordinator position needs to be better. That is for sure. um, Robbie needs to step up. It's unfortunate for Braden Robbie. He gets traded here and then gets hurt instantly. So if he's healthy and back, he does need to step up. He needs to answer the call on why he was brought here to solidify the slot position. And what better week than against Kansas City with Travis Kelce in the slot to step up? Welcome back from the injured list. Here's Travis Kelce. Go cover him. And then Kata with the whoever's in the slot. More comments on Bradbury. Kevin Byard needs to step up from Mike Holt here. And I think that's a great answer. We brought him in. People looked at the all-pro numbers. Obviously, he's not an all-pro anymore, but we expected more than what we've gotten from him so far. So Byard is a strong, strong answer here. And I'm surprised it took so long into the poll for his name to be brought up. Somebody supporting Smitty. Coach Brian Johnson, player Bradbury. Get a lot of comments on Brian Johnson, which it was clearly a poll towards the players, but we could throw Brian Johnson's name needing to step up in here as well. All of the above, not just one guy. Everyone has to stand up from Cage. I think that's a fantastic answer as well. The O-line needs to dominate. We'll keep the win rolling for sure. Blankenship. There was a mention that Blankenship needs to step up. And Reed Blankenship is such a controversial player. I'll say it. He's controversial. Why? Because people think Reed Blankenship is the man. is a guy that wasn't even playing before Chauncey Gardner-Johnson went down last year, and he's made a lot of big plays, but he's also gotten beat a lot of times. He still has so much room to grow, Reed Blankenship, as a player, and I think there's more untapped potential there that he could step up and really make a big difference in the back end of the secondary. Party Dog saying DeAndre Swift needs to step up. I was looking at some stats this morning, and DeAndre Swift, for as much as we say he's not involved in the passing game, he's got 30 catches, only 8 less than Dallas Goedert, but he's only got 166 yards. So they're not getting him the ball in the passing game in open space. He's averaging just over 5 yards a catch. You got to find a way to get him in the screen game and in the passing game in open space so he can break some big plays. So I think there's room for him to step up in the passing game. The defensive line needs to step up. All need to step up a team game. So that's pretty much all the comments there on this poll, at least the ones that that are safe enough to put up on the screen. But let's get caught up on the comments here. We'll stop the stop screen here for a second. The whole defensive backcourt needs to step up, and that's the second person in the comments section to say that, Duck. And but if you had to pick one, is it James Bradbury who's dominating the conversation, who's dominating the polls, or is it Reed Blankenship, Kevin Byard, Brandy Robbie? It's not who needs to be better; it's who needs to step up. And I don't think James Bradbury is going to be any better than he is already. That's why somebody like Reed Blankenship, Kevin Byard needs to step up. I don't know. I get where everybody's feeling with James Bradbury this year and so far, but I don't know if it's necessarily his fault. I just think he's maybe it's not as good. Cam Jurgens is king. You know it, K1. I've been talking about Cam Jurgens since the second he went down. And I think we even did a show the week before he went down discussing. I know we spent a show discussing Landon Dickerson, and I think we spent a show discussing Cam Jurgens, how they're the unheralded. How do you say that word? The unpraised guys on the off. Everyone talks Layden Johnson. Everyone talks Jason Kelsey. Everyone talks Jordan Mailata. No one talks Landon Dickerson, and no one was talking Cam Jurgens early in the year. I think it's massive that he comes back. He comes back healthy, and I think it'll have a big part in helping the defense or the offense, the running game on the offense. Johnson Sirianni need to not step away from the run so quickly. Yeah, they got to make a commitment to it for sure. We definitely need to say it. It's a big stretch for Brian Johnson. It's a big stretch for him to really. This is about the part of the season in 2021 when Shane Steichen went from being a rookie coordinator into being a confident rookie coordinator. We're 9 games in so far. It's time for Brian Johnson to get comfortable in his role and start to show, what he is capable of being as a coordinator. Has Kevin Byard joined the team since the trade? Is that sarcasm, Marshawn? Just want to make sure. Look, everybody gets excited when they see a big name sign with their team. But sometimes when you get a guy like Kevin Byard as cheaply as we did, there's a reason. He's not an all-pro anymore. Was he? Is he better than what we had out there? Absolutely. Am I more confident Kevin Byard out there than Justin Evans, whose practice window was opened? Absolutely. But is Kevin Byard going to be an all-pro safety for this team? Nah. So we just got to be realistic with him. Is Jalen Carter in trouble with the police again? Heart's pumping. I don't think he is. I think that whole thing, that whole situation with Jalen Carter was kind of fabricated maybe or overblown or maybe a mistake. I don't think he was. Maybe he wasn't even actually arrested. Maybe he was questioned and he's like, "Oh, sorry, my bad, paid for it." I don't know what happened. Jalen Carter's not talking about it. And no charges have been filed. So the Jalen Carter situation, I'm moving on from that. I'm more focused on the Kelly Oubre drama than the Jalen Carter drama. Travis, I think that's some fabricated shit about Carter. Could be Cowboys fans. But I don't know about that. So something obviously happened, Marshawn. Something. But I think what was fabricated was the extent of it. If you accidentally don't scan a few items, they're not calling the cops. Now, if you accidentally don't scan like $500, they might. Or if you walk out and put it in your car, they might. But if it went the way I've read it, it was just a misunderstanding. And the way I read it was like he was arrested, taken, and he had to be bailed out of prison. I don't think it was that big of a deal. I don't. So I've moved on from it for the most part. Mozzie Smith made one play every 10th game. Beard Bros hit the like. That's right. What are we at? 9 likes on YouTube so far, 3 on Facebook. Not good enough, guys. 30 minutes in the show, and it's not good enough at all. So hit that like button for me. Hit that share button. It's free to do it, my man. Byard will be the guy to step up. Week off, get in sync with our D, show up as a leader. Kyle, I hope you're right. Um, but what's stepping up? Like what? Like how's he going to step up? He's got to be good in coverage, helping out on the back end. He's got to make some big plays. He's got to make a pick. He's got to do something to change the course of the game. Otherwise, people are going to hate on him, Kyle, just simply because he's a big name. People see the big name and they expect big things, whether you're capable of doing it or not. So, you also want to see him, step up and make a big play because you want to see him have like a pick six or something while you're there. We need this Eagles win. I said it's not must win, but let me change that. It is 110% a must win game for the Eagles, solely because my man Kyle, part of the Core 12, my man from high school, is going to be at the game. He's traveling all the way out to KC and going to rock that Eagles gear to cheer on our birds. So we need an Eagles win for my man Kyle more than anything else. What a way to start Thanksgiving week by traveling out to KC, getting some good barbecue, watching the Eagles whoop up on the Chiefs in KC on Monday Night Football. Man, I'm rooting for it. A lot of inconsistencies are kind of getting on my nerves, but he sounds determined last week, saying Hurts cussed him out. Travis, it's funny you say this, um, because this name on the screen here, Jordan Mailata, is the prime example of why PFF grading system is flawed. Because I don't know if it still is this week, but about 2 weeks ago, Jordan Mailata was rated as the number one left tackle in football, according to their grading system. But yet my eye test tells me he's been inconsistent. He's been inconsistent since about midway through last year. He had a great 2 years ago in 2021, got the big payday. Not saying he let off the work ethic, just saying he got to a certain height and then he didn't continue to get better. I still think there's untapped potential in Jordan Mailata. There is greatest of all time potential there, but he's kind of peaked at a certain level, and you're seeing some inconsistencies. You're still now, seeing the fact that he's new at playing football, and you would think at this point it would start to click a little bit more. But yet the PFF grades are saying he's the best in the game, and I don't know. I think he's the perfect example, the poster child that says PFF's a little iffy. CeeDee Lamb is a big wide receiver that plays mostly in the slot. Most slot cornerbacks aren't very good. Devontae is a small speed wide receiver who plays outside exclusively. Can't compare him to CD. I think that's an interesting comment. I think it's an interesting point and way to talk about it. Um, for sure. And I think they do play different positions, which means they get guarded differently. I think what it is, though, Mister, also is the fact that in this day and age, the top cornerback just doesn't follow the top wide receiver wherever they line up. Back in the day, whoever the top guy was, Darius Slay, say, on this team, would follow CeeDee Lamb no matter where they line up, left, right, slot, on the line of scrimmage, in the backfield, wherever it is, Darius Slay would be there. That's just not the way it is anymore, and I think that's part of it as well. Um, so nobody is wishing for Edmonds or Evans back. Well, Evans is going to come back. Terrell Edmonds isn't on the team anymore. Didn't he get cut? Pretty sure he got cut like 3-4 weeks ago. That's why we haven't seen him making plays on the field, Marshawn. Bayard's struggles may be a microcosm of what is really wrong with this secondary. Do you think maybe the defense coordinator is putting our secondary in vulnerable position with confusing coverages? I think that's a fair question. I think, and personally, I think part of the success of the secondary last year was pretty simple. We had 70 sacks. I don't know what our sack number is right now. I do have the team stats up. Let me see if there's a bottom number here on sacks. We've got 30 sacks. So we're on pace for about 55, 50, 55 sacks this year. That's a big difference in 70. Okay. When you're leading the league in almost sacks like the Eagles do and not actual sacks, just think about it real quick. Let me break it down. I broke this down on Reality Check show. A typical quarterback drop three, 4 steps back. You got about 3 seconds in that drop back there. Okay. It's 3 seconds that your cornerbacks have to cover a wide receiver. Okay. The defense gets the line gets a little pressure. All right. But doesn't wrap up the quarterback and get the sack. So now we're talking 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds as the quarterback evades the blitz, evades the sack, steps up, steps aside, scrambles. Okay. So now you're looking at 6, 7 seconds that these cornerbacks are being asked to cover elite wide receivers. Just think of the names that have beaten up on us this year, statistically speaking. McLaurin, CeeDee Lamb, all these big time wide receivers. We've gone up against Mike Evans this year. You know, so many big Tyreek Hill. You know, if you're not getting to the quarterback, it exposes your cornerbacks a little bit. And it puts a lot of pressure on your cornerbacks. And when they've got to cover for 6, 7 seconds because the pressure isn't finishing the job, it's going to expose them. Last year, 70 sacks gave the cornerbacks an opportunity to not have to worry, to cover the initial route, and then that's it. I think that's part of it as well. So that's just my opinion. Reed, I just made a young guy mistake. He's got the one attitude of a star who doesn't. Hold on, Reed. I just made a young guy mistake. He's got that one attitude of a star who doesn't see that. This is so not a must-win game, Kyle or no Kyle. I come on for Kyle. For Kyle, let's make it a big deal for Kyle. PFF is garbage, Beard Bros. I agree. I don't know if it's garbage. It helps me when I want to make an argument, but it helps me also when I want to make an anti-argument about it as well. Yeah, we knew that from the get-go. Jalen Carter's is on thin ice. He's already in a legal battle from college. He got to stay squeaky clean. Look, Jalen Carter. I don't know if he's on thin ice because I think this whole situation last week is just blown way out of proportions. That's it. I'm not worried about it. The college thing is a totally different story. But I think this one's being totally out of proportion. We got Edmonds and the linebacker Matthews brother, Clay Matthews, because they're brothers and stars, and it didn't work out. Well, we don't have Edmonds anymore. He's not on this team anymore. So there's that. The O line is built to run the ball. They have a lot of speed and versatility. The pass protection takes hits, especially when Hurts' injury limits his scrambles. A non-mobile quarterback exposes it. Absolutely. I have talked about this, Peanut, not just this year a boatload of times, but a boatload of times on multiple networks because, I'm a flip-flopper. I'll work for the highest bidder at any time. Anybody wants to pay me more, I'll go. I don't care. Every network I've worked for, I've talked about since Jalen Hurts has been successful, he's made the offensive line better because he can, when they give up a pass rush, he's able to avoid them. Well, he's got a bad knee. He can't avoid them right now. So, the O line's being exposed to being a great run blocking team, but an average at best pass blocking team, which still makes overall a really good offensive line. Just means the offense needs to commit to running the football a little bit more. So there's that as well. What is up, Jeremy? I got a feeling Patrick Mahomes is going to be washing his lucky underwear Tuesday morning. Yeah, what's this? He doesn't wash his lucky underwear or something like that? Yeah, I don't got no lucky underwear. I don't wear underwear. No, I'm just kidding with that. That's too much information. That's a bad time joke right there. I hope so. I hope you're right, Jeremy. I hope that who somebody said in the beginning of this show that we need a win to become the elite team in the NFL to prove that we are. I already think we are, but it sure as hell would make a statement to the NFL and to the world if the Eagles came out and smacked Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the mouth and said, "Yeah, we're 8-1 now, 9-1 for a reason because we're the best team in football." Um, we're coming off a bye, which is great, but the Chiefs are coming off a bye as well, I believe. Are they not coming off a bye? I think the Chiefs are coming off their bye too. And we know Andy Reid is damn good after a bye as well. We know that from his time here coaching in Philly. I heard Carter might spend a long, hard night in jail like the mon. Yeah, he is not going to jail. Trust me on that. Yes, my broadcast said for the 794th time this year, Kenny G is the only running back on the roster who can pass block, which is why he's on the field. That is true. He does pass block better than Swift. He does pass block better than Boston Scott. But K1, if you haven't seen it, then you're blind. That even he, in the last few games he's played, has missed some of that pass block. He's gotten beat. He's taken the wrong side. He's not gotten out leveraged properly. Like he's gotten beat a few times, and Hurts has paid the price because of it. This Eagles team are hungry for this game. Hurts ain't though. He'd be starving. Yeah, Travis. I mean, I'm gonna slightly disagree with you. Um, they're hungry for every game. Jalen Hurts wants every game. He's starving for every game. He's a next game up mentality type guy. He puts 110% focus into each game, whichever one's the next game. He's never looking ahead. And I've brought up the philosophy that this game is not must win for revenge on the Super Bowl loss. You don't get revenge for losing a Super Bowl the next year in the regular season. You just don't. Um, and I think the Eagles, I really truly think the Eagles have that same mentality. Now, yeah, they want this win because they want to give themselves extra separation in the conference. They want the one seed so they can have an easier path to the Super Bowl. That's all that they're focused on. They're not focused on this game because we need revenge because they beat us in the Super Bowl. They're focused on this game because it's the next game on their schedule and they want to win every single one of them. I really truly believe that that's how I feel, but also I believe that's how the Eagles, or at least some of the Eagles, the important Eagles, that they feel. None of my underwear is lucky. I damn near hit my britches on a daily basis. Look, as long as you don't do it live on the air like Liam did, that one time, that's it. I'm 28 and 24-year-old Hurts sounds like my father. It's pretty crazy that Jalen Hurts does sound like an old soul. What's the commercial when homeowners start to sound like their parents? Like Jalen Hurts sounds like he's 65 years old. He acts like the mature grandpa. That's the wise grandpa at Christmas dinner, sitting in his rocking chair, smoking his pipe. Back in my day, Sonny, this is what it was like. I walked uphill in the snow to and from work every day with no shoes on. Like that's what Jalen Hurts is like. He's the old wise man. I love it. I love it. Kenny G gets blamed for Opeta getting treated like a turnstile. Um, it's fair. The running back getting beat only happens if the offensive lineman gets beat first. Um, and look, we're going to find out a lot, K1, with Cam Jurgens back. And I think if the offensive line all of a sudden just clicks a little bit better this week against a very good Chiefs defense, let's take nothing away from the Chiefs. They're a good team. They're a great team. They're a really strong defense. But if all of a sudden the offensive line starts clicking, it's really going to put not a star next to Cam Jurgens' name, but like a dagger next to Opeda's name. That obviously Opeda is a steep drop off. And them going with him as their number one backup option was probably a mistake. I remember, what were some of the names? Josh Andrews, Dennis Kelly, some of the names that were in camp. I don't know if they're playing elsewhere this year, but they were guys I had making the roster over Opeda. I knew we'd seen enough from them, but they went with what they knew. They went with Opeda, and we're going to find out. It's if the offensive line clicks this week, well, next week technically, um, it's just as much on Opeda as it is on Cam Jurgens on why it clicks, and I think that's something that people really, really gotta to lean into and think about a little bit there. This is a Super Bowl preview. Look, it's a Super Bowl preview, but it's not a Super Bowl rematch. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Opeta is not a good right tackle in either the run or the pass. Opeta is not a good football player. There's a reason why his nickname is Sewer Opeta. He's just not good. And we've seen that. We've seen a lot of it. We've seen enough of it. We saw so much of it. They went with Tyler Steen, a rookie last year or last week in his place because we've seen it. They've seen enough. I bet if we Scooby Dooed K1, he would be anything. Ah, I saw Peanut Room. I have to remember to send you some. I saw the funniest Scooby Doo reel. I can't replay it on the air. I can't repeat the words on the air. Um, it was basically a fight between Daphne and Wilma over a certain. No, anyway, I'll send it to you on Facebook, Peanut, because it was really funny. Steen was a good run blocker, but pass was about as good as Opeda. Yeah, I mean, but Steen's a rookie. Steen's barely played this year, if at all. He had 6 snaps before he started the game. So I'm willing to give Tyler Steen the benefit of the doubt duck over Opeda, who's been in the league for a few years now. Tyler Steen is playing a position he didn't play in college, that he hadn't started ever, and that he had 6 snaps of regular season football at. That's all I'm going to say about that. Was he great? No. Was he better than Opeda? A little bit. That's all there is to that. Tonight, number 2 and 3 AFC teams play. Well, 2 or 3 of the teams that I thought would be there at the end play. We're going to find out. Um, Baltimore, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, after finally getting it together, comes out and craps the bed last week. Baltimore craps the bed against Cleveland last week. It's a momentum game in the AFC there, for sure. How about the Flyers winning 3 in a row on the road against some good teams? I knew they won 2 in a row, and I knew they were up 3-0 at one point last night, Kyle. But I did not know they finished off the game and won it because I watched the Sixers game last night. Then after the Sixers game, I got a busy ass day at the shop today. I got 3 catering orders. I hope the wife's already left to get in there because we got a lot of food to make today. A lot of food today to make. So I had to call it an early night so I could be up, not waste too much energy this morning, and get right to work and start cranking it out. What will Nick do with Goddard's touches? Travis, I think it's one of the most interesting questions we can ask about this Chiefs game because I don't think there's an answer. What's so funny, and I've brought this up before, the Eagles were 5-0 last year in the games at Dallas. How is a guy that's borderline all pro at his position, one of the 5 or 6 most talented guys at his position in the league, get hurt and leave his team, but then the team goes 5-0 in their absence? So that's part one of the question. What do they do with it? I think the routes that he runs can slightly be filled by Julio Jones. He's a big bodied guy. He can run those same routes. He's got good hands still. He's got good size still. He can still beat a safety or a linebacker if necessary. So I think that's part of it. I think part of it, maybe you see more DeAndre Swift lining up in the slot. Because let's see, Dallas Goedert lines up on the line, but he also lines up in the slot a lot too. He lines up off the line a lot. Um, Alberto will get some playing time. Whether he'll be effective or not, I don't know. But Jack Stahl will be the starter, just like last year. The problem is Jack Stahl can't run routes just like Dallas Goedert can. So Jack Stahl will do what he does. He'll block, he'll chip off, and be there for 2, 3, 4 yard gains, but that's it. The deeper routes are probably going to go to Julio, in my opinion. Really hard to find good O linemen. That's why the good ones are the highest paid players. Absolutely, Mister. But that has been our mo, our philosophy is having strong line and having strong backups. And look, maybe part of the Opeda problem is just that we're used to such great line play and we weren't getting it. Like we went right from Isaac Sayamalu, who played great last year, got a big contract. How's Isaac Sayamalu even doing this year? Like I don't know. I haven't heard his name. I haven't seen his name anywhere. I know he got a big payday, but I'm not sure how good he's doing this year. Um, you went from Isaac Sayamalu to Cam Jurgens, didn't miss a beat, and then Jurgens goes down. People often forget how bad the offensive line of the Eagles was in 2020 when we had like 37 different starting configurations over 17 games. So all said and done, it comes down to our defense to hold us on top with these monster rivals. Who else got faith in the defense? I mean, faith in the defense. I mean, we're 8-1. I guess we've got to have faith in the defense, right, Travis? Like, I really truly believe that your record speaks the most volumes about what your team is, and our record says we're the best team. So I've got faith. I want to see more success in the second and third quarters, but in the fourth quarter, when the crunch time is up. They come up big. Blankenship struggled multiple times in the last game against Cowboys, but then made the big plays when it mattered most, and that's all that really truly matters. I got a busy day too. Yeah, I'll enjoy that. While you're doing that, I'll be making a lot of food. That sounds like a blast. Good luck with that. I know exactly, K1. Man, let's just leave. I don't even know if I want to do the rest of the show. I'm just gonna be feeling for Kyle here the rest of the day. Great. At least you've got a reward for your comment. You got a flight to Kansas City coming up soon. So, if you want to go to Kansas City, give me your Kansas City tickets and your plane tickets, and I'll take the colonoscopy for you, and you can go make the pizzas today for me. We'll just trade places. No, I'm just kidding with you, man. I hope it goes well. So the Chiefs game is must win after all. For Kyle, it is because he's got a colonoscopy and he's got to fly out to Kansas City. Man, don't put that personal info in the comment section like that because you're just gonna get called out nonstop, Kyle. Phil and Liam overhyped Devontae Smith. No, he didn't. Devontae Smith is great. What is up, Eric? The chat can start because Eric is here. Stepping by to say good morning. Salute. From Turks and you're in Turks and Caicos. Me and Mrs. are celebrating our birthdays. Well, happy birthday to both of you guys. Enjoy Turks and Caicos. Mad ups for you jumping up in the conversation this morning. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Hopefully the weather's great. Guessing you're at one of those resorts down there. Enjoy it, my man. You got to soak up those moments when you can, my man. That's right. Happy birthday to him, to Eric and Mrs. Eric. If you're not hearing an O-line man's name, usually means they are doing good and just not great. Yeah, I love not hearing offensive linemen, but we heard too much about Sua Payton. That's why we got problems. We shouldn't know about some of these. We don't know. So if we're not hearing about Isaac Sayamalu, especially a guard, his name, maybe he's doing well, in his future endeavors. But obviously, there's something to that. That's right. Smash that like button. If Eric could get up in Turks and Caicos on vacation to hit the like button and drop a comment and say hello, everybody else watching this show can hit the like button and hit the share button from wherever they are right now. For sure. Kyle, at least you will be asleep through it. Hopefully he will. Kyle, take him one for the team, literally and figuratively. I don't want to know what they do up there, Kyle. Oh, what is up, Billy? How you doing, my man? Go Birds. Um, Man, happiest 60th birthday, Eric. I don't know if that's sarcasm or not because Eric might be 60. No, I'm just kidding. He's only a little older than me. Happy birthday. Everybody loves Eric, man. Everybody jumps out. Happy birthday, Eric. It's not my birthday. I still got 28 days, I believe it is. I think I'm 4 weeks away from my birthday. Yeah, today's Thursday, so it's 4 weeks from today because my birthday falls on a Thursday this year. So yeah, all right, just mark that down. December 14th, guys. Don't miss my birthday. That's gotta hurt. That's ah, ah. Oh man, Kyle, you really lightened up the chat. We didn't have any weird, wild, wacky conversations going that distract us in the conversation today. From the topic at hand with the Eagles and the Sixers. Kyle saved the day and brought in the off the wall topic of the day for sure. Well, Phil, great stream, bro. Thank you very much, my man. Reality Check. Thanks for having me on your show last night. Greatly appreciate it. Duck, I tried to share it, and then I think YouTube doesn't allow links being shared in the comments, so it kind of deleted it. So I don't know what happened with that. Phil 43. I'll be 43 on December 14th, my man, for sure. I'm an old fart, my man. All right, we're gonna do an early hard reset here at 8:55 in the morning instead of 9. So I might wrap this show up 5 minutes early today or so with all going on at the pizza shop. So you are watching Trending in the AM right here on Philadelphia Sports Network. I am your host, Phil Stiefel. Make sure you hit that like button, the subscribe button, that follow button, wherever you're watching. Greatly helps the algorithm, greatly helps the stream, greatly helps us grow this channel, this show, and all the hard work that I put into this on a daily basis. So like, share, subscribe. Trending in the AM on Philadelphia Sports Network. I am Phil Stiefel. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Beard of Knowledge. Dude, it's not premature. I am not premature in anything. I can't put it won't let me put links in the chat, and I can't find the I'm not gonna go find the link mid-show either. Anyway, we're talking Eagles today. We're talking which Eagles player needs to step up the most in the second half. We are talking Sixers Celtics. Well, we dabbled in Sixers Celtics. It really didn't dominate the conversation. We did talk a little, and we are still on the table with what happened with Kelly Oubre. Why? Who? How? Did Kelly Oubre's doorbell ring camera footage get leaked to TMZ? How in the blue hell did that happen? We're talking all of it. And we're right back to the comments. Well, we're caught up on the comments, so we need more comments, is what I'm saying. These hard resets, yeah, we already saw that. That's premature. No premature comments. All right, no premature. All right, we're good in that department. It doesn't happen to everyone. It doesn't happen to me. What's a more awkward conversation? Kyle's colonoscopy or my premature hard reset? All right, I do not say Wooder. Weird. Wooter. That's how you say it. In Philadelphia, at least. That's why the Philadelphia Wooder Dogs missed a big mistake by spelling it Wooter, Water, instead of Wooder. That's what they should have spelled their team name, the Wooder Dogs. They should have. And speaking of the Wooder Dogs, young man Cole Thompson, back on the show for the first time in a while. You guys love Cole, young kid. Does great work in college, covering sports. He's going to jump in tomorrow morning, I believe, and do the show with us. We'll talk everything with him. He does want to talk some National Lacrosse League and the Philadelphia getting a team. I mean, it might take 2 minutes of our conversation, but we might talk it for a few moments tomorrow morning. But Cole will be joining the show tomorrow. It's been a minute since we've had him on, so we got to get Cole in here to chit chat. Brian Dabble or Dabbled? I don't even know how to answer that one. Jalen Carter needs his reps to step up, but he is the key. Travis, I think you bring up a very interesting name in the who needs to step up conversation. I really do. Because Jalen Carter, he's obviously still the favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. He is. But he had a great start to the season, start to the career of his. And then he's tailed off a little bit. Now, how much of his tailing off has been about him injured because he's been banged up a few games now, and how much of it is him hitting a rookie wall? And we see that a lot happen. Rookie walls happen all the time. Defensive tackles normally don't come out and have major success their rookie year. More the defensive ends, the edge rushers do, if you're going to have success as a rookie. And I wonder if if he's hit a wall. I really do. And if he hasn't hit a wall, he does need to step up. We all talk about this bye was great for getting the health of Jalen Hurts back in check. But I kind of feel like this bye is very important for the health of Jalen Carter getting healthy so that, he can continue and get back to dominating the way he was early in the season. I'm surprised no one else sees it that way either, Travis, that Jalen Carter's kind of leveled off a little bit. Water. Wooder, says no one. I say Wooder all the time. My grandma said Wooder. It's Wooder. Woolter. Is that what sheep drink? It's Wooter. Wooder. That's how you sound it. Hey, much love to you, my man. Enjoy your vacation, my man. Phil has der. At least Liam says wata. Wata? Yeah, we got a Philadelphia versus British pronunciation battle off between me and Liam, for sure. JC gets double. He gets tripled a lot as well. I saw the video clip. I'm sure you saw it too. There, maybe it's what you're thinking of, K1, of Cowboys fans, crushing Jalen Carter, saying we shut him down, and then an Eagles content creator sharing proof that he was getting triple teamed on a play. That's shutting him down because you had a triple team. You got to use 3 guys to block 1. So there's definitely some of that as well into it. But he was being double teamed early in the season too, K1. and he was beating those double teams early in the season. Now, some of it's probably the double and triple teams. Some of it is the injury that he's been battling through, but some of it could also be a rookie wall. I want to see more. If Jalen Carter wants to be talked about in the same breath as Aaron Donald, which people were doing earlier this year, if he wants to be in that conversation, he's got to step up. That's all I'm trying to say. And I just think it's interesting that he brings it up. Travis did, because it's something I've thought about, but really not dabbled into too much yet. That Jalen Carter could actually be better. He could actually play better. Woulder, coulder, shoulder, without a shadow of a doubt. No, there's no such word as coulder. Shoulder, that's not a word either. Wooder is a word. Those others are not. So stop it. Stop messing with my Italian Philadelphia pronunciation of words. All right? That's all. Hopefully the buy will provide Carter with a hard reset. Hopefully he didn't have his hard reset too prematurely, right? Is that what it is? Um, what is wrong with me? I don't even know. I think though besides this joke, the bye week came and did come at the perfect time for the Philadelphia Eagles, because it is getting them healthy. It's giving them chance to breathe. Not just Jalen Carter. Jalen Hurts, obviously, with the knee. I am so excited or hopeful that he looks different on Monday night with a fresh knee. Hopefully, and if it's not 100% or 98% after the bye week, then we're going to be worried about that knee all year long. Jalen Carter, Jalen Hurts, Jordan Davis has been banged up with a hammy or a back. Got to get him healthy. The bye week gives one of the 4 weeks that Dallas Goedert was going to miss, potentially. It for sure gets us Cam Jurgens and Braden Robbie back in the lineup. The bye week gave an extra week for Justin Evans to provide depth on this team. The bye week for this Eagles team came at the absolute perfect time. And I think that hopefully is going to massively help this team coming out of the bye. That getting healthy is one of the most important. I hate when your team gets like a week 4 bye week so early in the season. You've played 3 games, and then you've got all the games after that. It's almost unfair to an extent. The teams that had early bye weeks versus the teams that have late bye weeks. It goes back to the theory that I've preached on this show plenty of times, that I do think that the league should have a common bye week. I really do. Make it fair for everybody. No excuses for anybody. Common bye week for every team in the NFL. I got your hard reset right here. Yeah, I'll give you something right here for sure. No doubt. The bye also gave the coaches extra time to prepare a solid game plan. Yeah, I mean, that's why there's so many teams have such great records coming out of the bye. The coaches have nothing but time on their hands to sit there and just game plan for the next game ahead. For sure. It also gives the coaches who we've criticized, who we've talked about, Brian Johnson needs to step up, etc. It gives the coaches time not to just prepare, but to self-evaluate. I bet you Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson and Sean Desai were sitting in rooms locked up, just going over every play, every decision they made over the last few games, trying to find out what should have been the decision. Where can they tweak things? What can they do? I think that the bye week provided a great opportunity for these coaches. They've got half the season of footage to learn from, and the second half of the season ahead of them to improve. I just think week 10 should be a perfect week for everybody to have a bye week. You should just have a universal bye week in the NFL. I really truly believe that. Our top stars on D is 794, then maybe 98 when you really look at it. Yeah, I mean, I want to see more out of, we talked about these players that got to step up. Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick had a huge season last year, obviously. I'm sorting something on another page here. With the 16 plus sacks. Josh Sweat had like 11 last year. And everybody's talking and hyping up these guys about how great they are. And this right here. Everybody talks about how underappreciated Josh Sweat is. But is he? Because that's all I hear about is people saying, "Oh, these guys are underappreciated." But yet, are they underappreciated? Because all they do is get hyped about underappreciated. We know they're good, but I want more out of Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick. Josh Sweat has six sacks. Hold on, back to that screen. 6.5 sacks. Hassan Reddick has 7.5 sacks. And I know Hassan Reddick had a slow start with that thumb. And I know Hassan Reddick's been big late in games. He's like the closer. He's like the Brad Lidge of the Eagles. Final 2 minutes of the game, you need a sack. Hassan Reddick's going to get it. But from minute 1 through minute 45, 50, 60 of the game, 58 of the game, where are these guys? They're getting pressure, but they're not getting home. These guys need to wrap up more. Sweat and Reddick right now, with the pressure that they get, should each have about 2 or 3 more sacks. But they just don't wrap up enough. They don't get home enough. This team should. This team is built for the defensive line to get after quarterbacks and to stop the run. They're stopping the run, but they're not getting the quarterback wrapped up enough. It's not a popular opinion, not a popular thing me saying that Sweat and Reddick need to do more, but they do in the heart of the game, not just in the final 2 minutes of the game. We wouldn't need them to make a big play with a minute left in the game if they made 2 or 3 bigger plays earlier in the game. Just saying. Unpopular opinion that they're not underrated and underappreciated. They're appreciated plenty, and they got to do more. Networks would never allow a week without football. Get real. Oh, I know it'll never happen. Well, I wouldn't say it won't ever happen. I think the second bye week will come when the 18th game happens. I doubt they'll make it universal, K1, for that reason, the networks and football and whatnot. But I think it should be. I think it would be fair. If you're going to have 2 bye weeks, why not have them week 4 and week 10, week 4 and week 11, or have one rotated and 1 week 11 for everybody? I know it's not going to happen. I know, but it could. It should. They'll never get rid of Thanksgiving football. Get rid of Christmas week football. Let the players have a week off around Christmas time to be with their families. Why not? Sweat is the jab. Reddick is the haymaker. Right. I get what you're trying to say there. I still just don't think that they have performed high enough, long enough all year. They make the big plays at the end of the games, but man, those 400 passing yards from Sam Howell came because you missed how many sacks? You got the sacks when they mattered at the end, but they didn't get enough throughout the guts of the game. I want to see more early in the game. Set the tone early in the game, so at the end of the game isn't necessary. Phil, have you ever thought of dressing like Santa to bring Eagles cheer? I will never dress like Santa ever again. Ever since I scared the living daylights out of a bunch of kids as Santa. A long story, but I scared a lot of kids dressed as Santa one year because I didn't have my wig on right. So I'll never do it ever again. Um, we are still 6 in sacks this year, which is I'm surprised we're that high. Honestly, when I looked at the stats earlier in the show, Travis, and saw that we had 30 sacks on the year, kind of surprised we have that many. I really am, because it feels like we're not getting home enough. Reddick has 7.5 sacks in the last 6 games. Can't have a sack on every passing play. I get that, y'all. And I know what I'm saying is going to upset somebody or a lot of people out there. I know that. But it's how many of those sacks have come in the final 2 minutes. And in the early parts of the game, we're getting after the quarterback, but not wrapping up. And that to me is part of the problem with the secondary. So I just want to see your top guys, Reddick and Sweat, the guys that get all the praise in Philadelphia, make those big plays earlier in games. That's all I'm trying to say. So that maybe in the final 2 minutes of the game, we're not in a nail bite. If Reddick comes up big in the first 5 minutes of a game, maybe we have one less scoring drive we give up early in a game. Maybe the offense then gets the ball back and scores again. I want these big moments to happen earlier in the game so that the end of the game is not so stressful. Trade deadline is way too early. They already pushed it back once, and they'll probably push it back again. The cumulative effect of hurries, pressures, and hits can be as impactful as a sack on a quarterback. That's fair. Problem is, it also shows the flaws in the secondary. If all you're doing is getting hurries and pressures, and it puts a lot of stress and strain on a secondary to make the play. And it's very hard as a cornerback to cover a wide receiver, especially an elite one, for 5, 6, 7 seconds versus 2, 3, 4 seconds. So that's the counter to that point there. Boo, what do you want picks? I don't have picks. I have a really, really old VHS tape somewhere that someone can convert, and it might be on there somewhere. I totally agree with the man chatter. Like I said, I'll send somebody the VHS, and that person can find and decipher the squiggly lines in the VHS that this is on. Kelly Green Santa. I was not a Kelly Green Santa. I was a bald Santa. Want to trade Eagles? Vaughn. He washed. Well, we don't want anybody that's washed. Young on the 49ers pisses me off. Chase Young on the 49ers. I mean, oh man, getting rid of Chase Young and Montez Sweat, Washington, and then going out and winning the game, it just makes no sense. Like I don't know how that even remotely happened or happens or whatever. I don't. It does annoy me. My dogs are barking up a storm. If you can't hear them in the background, guys, they are not happy this morning whatsoever. But anyway, where was I? I lost my whole train of thought there. I had a really important follow-up point to make, and then I'm just hearing my dogs barking incessantly in the background, and I can't focus right now. Anyway, guys, we're in the final 10, 12 minutes of this show. We're still stuck on 11 likes on YouTube, only 3 on Facebook, guys. Gotta do better. Please help me out. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Drop any of your final thoughts and comments and opinions in the comments section about the Eagles, about the most important players for this Eagles team coming down the stretch. And guys, I mean, if we haven't really talked about the Sixers much, but after going 8-1 and losing 2 straight games, you know, are you at all concerned about the Sixers team? Are you at all concerned that Joel Embiid turned in a typical Joel Embiid performance against the Celtics last night? Are you concerned that Tyrese Maxey hit a little bit of a wall last night? Are you concerned? Like, I know we spent yesterday talking about that the Sixers do not need to trade for Zach LaVine. Does the Sixers team need to make a trade for a star? I'm still on board saying no, not yet. That I'm giving this team 20 more games to see where they're at. But there is a severe lack of consistency on this team with Kelly Oubre and Nicholas Batum not out there. You got Marcus Morris Sr. just doesn't look like he's got anything left. Daniel House, Furkan Korkmaz, they give you a minute or two of goodness here or there, and then a lot of bad. Springer played great last night. I'd love to see Springer get more minutes, and that's what I love about Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse will go with the hot hand. I really, really, truly love that. He was hot, so they left him out there for 20 minutes. The dogs know that sacks are overrated stat. Is that what it is? Commies trade Young to whiners to stop us. Basically, they're pissed at us for beating them, so they're like, all right, we'll help the Niners out. I mean, still better than Sweat. Joel Embiid called the Celtics the best team in the league and sounded utterly defeated, per Sports Illustrated. I mean, he struggles against the Celtics. And I don't know. It's not like it's his first time struggling against the Celtics. This has been a 5-year battle against the Celtics. Your dog's pissed about it. Can you guys hear my dogs barking when they bark in the background? I'm curious if my mic's picking it up or not. I mean, they're in another room. I've got a door closed, but I can hear them through the headset. I don't know if you guys can hear them or not. How many in the Core 12 would buy a Trending in the AM t-shirt to help Phil support this out of control drug habit? I have a drug habit? Do I? Oh, doing this show is my drug habit. It is. It is. I should be at work right now, Peanut. I really should. And I have a shirt site set up already with logos. It's pinned to the top of my Twitter page. You can find it. You can get it. You can buy a shirt. Sometimes a team has a player or another team's number, and that's really what it is with the Celtics and Joel Embiid. It really is. It's kind of frustrating that he hasn't been able to figure out that team. And you know what? They'll come out in their next few games against lesser opponents and they'll play well again. It just goes to show the Celtics are number one and the Sixers are in that 2, 3, 4 category in the Eastern Conference. Plain and simple. I hate Al Horford kissing the dude. You knew every time it's like even the ones he missed, you thought were going in. Al Horford becomes an MVP caliber player, and I'm sure his wife, or not his wife, his sister. I mean, it very well could be his wife too. the way she hangs on his shoulder, Anna or Al or whatever her name is, Horford. Um, whenever they're in town, man, it just kicks my ass, man. It does because I just can't. I can't. I can't either. You can't either. Yeah, exactly. Yes, the aren't barking. They're saying Carter Hart. Carter Hart. Is that what they're saying? Hungry dogs bark louder. They are not hungry. My dogs are far, 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 far from hungry. Let me tell you something. They eat plenty. If anything, they eat too much. My God. Anyway, it's 9:15, 9:16 in the morning. We're gonna start the wrap up here. Get out of here in the next 3 or 4 minutes, guys. Let me get to work. Let me make the dough today, literally and figuratively. Let's see, what do I got? I got two catering orders, one with chicken parm and salads, one with hoagie trays and ziti, and then I got 140 pizzas to make this afternoon. I got a busy day today, and you can always find me at Fox's Pizza in Kennett Square, PA. Since I have no sponsor, I sponsor myself. Fox's Pizza, Kennett Square, PA. Come out and see me. I won't buy you a slice. I'll let you pay for a slice. We'll chit chat sports in person. Can Joel pack his nuts in big games? I mean, I don't know, Marsha. I don't know. In years past, Embiid would have sat last night for load management. Then we wonder why he not in shape for the playoffs. I like that Nurse is pushing him, even if his stats suffer. It's an interesting way of looking at it that he's not in shape for the playoffs because of load management. That if he plays more, he'll be in better shape. That's an interesting philosophy, Mister. And I think that's something that we could dive into at some point before I decide to prematurely end the show. We are. I need to make real money. I don't make real money doing this. That's why I'm always available to the highest bidder. I got to make the money. Somebody's got to pay my bills. Somebody's got to pay my wife's traveling expenses when she wants to go away. Don't you get tired of the old Al Horford and LBJ? Like, aren't they 50 yet? Like, yeah. Like, I still remember Al Horford on the Hawks back when he was an all-pro player, back in his early part of his career, Travis. Like, I'm sick and tired. Like, I feel like the guy's been around the NBA for 100 years. It's nauseating. All right, so I don't even know what the conversation's going to be like tomorrow. We got Cole coming on tomorrow. You're going to not want to miss it. Me and Cole have battled hard. Actually, I think tomorrow, now I'm thinking of it, is a perfect day. Coming off of we got Bengals versus Ravens, and he's a huge Lamar Jackson fan and supporter. Now I need Lamar Jackson to tank tonight and lose tonight to the Bengals so that I can crush Lamar Jackson to Cole tomorrow. But Cole will be joining us tomorrow. We'll talk Sixers. We'll talk Eagles. We'll talk Wooder Dogs. We'll talk college. We'll talk whatever. We'll talk gambling. He's a big gambler, big gambling content creator. We're going to talk a little bit of everything with Cole tomorrow, wherever the conversation goes. And then we'll do our predictions for Eagles Chiefs on Monday, with it being Monday Night Football game. Phil suffering from PE, prematurely ending. Ha ha ha. You're funny. Phil needs a purple pill prescription. I do not. I have plenty of prescriptions already. I make a mean chicken parm. It takes time to do it right. Yeah, I mean, when you're doing a catering order, when you're doing a tray and you're feeding 40, 50 people, I can't take 6 hours to make it. I make my spaghetti, I make my sauce, and honestly, I won't lie, I just use my chicken fingers and bread them up really good, and crisp them up really good, and put them on top with lots of pizza cheese, mozzarella cheese. When you're rushing to get a catering order together, use what's in front of you. But anyway, with that, we're gonna wrap up trending in the AM a few minutes early today, right here on the Philadelphia Sports Network. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, follow button. Make sure you tune in daily, Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock in the morning. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Core 12 salute. Everybody have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 8 a.m. with Cole. Y'all have a good night, and go Birds.